And now for our feature presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
You're listening to Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. Call in to join the conversation at 646-668-8393.
Welcome to Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. It's the six-man Dean Geronimo in the studio with Mark Lee, and we welcome you to yet another exciting episode of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to August 2019, y'all. It's the six-man Dean Geronimo, and as always, I'm in the studio from NJ to NC, right here with my right-hand man, Mark Lee. So, Mark, tell me what's good in your neck of the woods, my brother.
Well, for one thing, I just had the craziest, busiest week that I've had in a real long time. I mean, things were just insanely busy, but in a good way. So we did not mind that in the least bit because we just had all kinds of things going. And it wasn't just here in the Durham area. Actually, you know, even though I'm a mass transit kind of guy, with the support of some friends and some associates, I actually managed to get out of town to two different towns here in North Carolina to take care of some business and things of that nature. So we just been rocking and rolling. I mean, it started off after the show on last week, Tuesday. I had a board meeting. A young lady that was at the board meeting for the Carolina Theater, she reminded me that they were going to do the dedication of some artwork at the new police station, and my friend David Wilson was one of the artists, so I went in there and checked that mural out, that particular event going on. And then on Wednesday, we had that rap show. That rap show was off the chain. We had all kinds of amazing artists. I'm hoping that some of them are going to call in. But, G, you know, we had on the show right before he did it, like a week or two before, he delivered hard times. I mean, Phil Freelon would have been very proud because right there toward the beginning, his wife, Nina Freelon, and his son, Pierce Freelon, a noted rapper and activist here in the area, they just did a singing/rap number that had everybody totally moved in that building. And then from there, it just was amazing acts on throughout. I mean, de facto, the thespian, the Wrecking Crew was in the house. Of course, G did his thing. Kane Smago did his thing. Desan did his thing. So they were just definitely some amazing talent. I think they might have had somewhere like 25 to 30 acts on the stage, and they all brought the A game.
Wow.
You know, there was some wine and alcohol being served and some food being served. There were two food vendors, but folks just had a great time. Folks were very respectful. Folks were definitely having an enjoyable time, and definitely raised a little bit of money for the Hayti Center because that's part of what it was a fundraiser for Hayti to help the poetry team and things of that nature. But that thing was just off the wall and just crazy good. And then on Thursday, I told you I was just rolling. Thursday, I actually bypassed doing the blues show because I went down with my buddy Calvin. We just decided we were going to hit the National Black Theater Festival. Didn't really have any plays to go hit. Didn't really have any money to go see no plays. And, of course, Rita Theater is free. But what we really wanted to do was network. So we were down there, had a chance, Calvin did, to interview Woody King and Wayusi Baraka, two very principal people in the theater world. Wayusi's been very much involved in both theater, spoken word, and is very much involved in that spoken word community that they've had as part of that festival, I think since either the second or the third one, if not at the beginning, but definitely in the early stages, and has been involved for a number of years ever since. So he was down there, and he did two interviews with them. Woody King was just amazing and just broke it down. Woody King was like, basically, you know, black theater is surviving. Black theater is the voice of the people in terms of, like, actually we can hear what their thoughts are on theater, whereas, you know, art you have to interpret and things of that nature. So he broke that down, and I invited him to be on the show. So hopefully he'll be on the show in the not-too-distant future. But he is just a true icon of black theater, running a company in New York called New Federal. So he's actually up there in your neck of the woods. But they've just been doing some amazing work and things of that nature. So did that on Thursday, and then on, I think Friday was the one day of rest and relaxation to some degree. I did have a little bit of Hayti work, but wasn't ripping and rolling like I had the other days. And then Saturday was just crazy. Saturday, opened up the day that morning, catching up with Captain Newborn. We drove up to Wilson, North Carolina, but we did the auditions for the show that'll be next month. The next Road to the Apollo will be in Wilson. There were like 45 acts, and those acts brought it. I mean, a comedian that kind of like did a transgender kind of comedy routine, some singers, a dancer that moved like Michael Jackson. I mean, they just brought the A game big time, and I was quite impressed with Wilson and the Sally B. Howard School. Some of these were folks from the community of Wilson and even outside of Wilson area, but definitely the school kids that were there represented strongly, and I think we got quite a few of them in the show. So it's going to be a dynamic show on September 7th. I'm looking forward to hosting that one and looking forward to seeing how they work with the band and things of that nature. And, of course, we gave them some constructive criticism and things of that nature. So it was just crazy, amazing, good times that was had on Saturday. And then I came back to work. I knew I had an event. I knew it was a library event, but I didn't know what it was. It was actually a celebration of reading. So people that had been reading books, they were honored for, like completing the books and things of that nature.
Right.
So they were honored, and it was a group called Higher Orbit. It was one of the sponsors, and I talked to the young lady. But apparently they're trying to get more people in STEM, and it's an organization. I'm not even sure I've got her card. I got to find out exactly where she's based at. But I do know I invited her to be on the show as well. But they wanted to try to find a way to do an art project, get the art project to go up in space, and that was the winning prize. I think it was 3 teams competed. The Pisces team, I believe. I remember that because it was named after an astrological sign. They were the winning team, and the young lady that was there representing them was quite pleased. But the lady that was doing the presentation, she was also real cool and told the people that if they lost, they didn't really lose because she wished she could take all of them up in space and up to the trip and everything. And then we slightly slid back down to the National Black again and saw my buddy Petrie Bird and things of that nature. That was with Calvin. So, like I said, Saturday was just crazy. And then Sunday had the 2 church services, the Readers Party, and then at some point on Saturday, I think Reggie Johnson, I think that's his last name, but he's involved with the city, involved with our board at Hayti, and he told me that they were going to be the new pastor or relatively new pastor at St. Joseph's, which is what the Hayti originally was, but they have their actual church further down the road, and the new pastor was going to have like the community welcoming him. So I went to that, saw Mayor Schul, who's been on the show, saw Brenda Howerton, who we just had on the show not that long ago, saw Mr. Barnes, who I believe we had on the show not that long ago, and a bunch of other notables that I talked to. And actually, we were even invited because I saw Carl Webb, who's a noted businessman in the community, African-American businessman. I saw him, and I've been wanting to get him on the show. I really want to get his daughter on, who's a noted actress, and a couple other people associated family. But he's got this black-owned co-working space, and I invited him to be on the show. And then when I was inviting him, he said, hey, y'all should do the show here. So, if I may be calling you one day from his space with him as the guest, and you'll still do the engineering up there, but we may actually be doing it on location podcast in the not-too-distant future because he's got the space is just incredible. He's got a mock-up of the Royal Ice Cream Parlor, which was one of the original ice cream things that was part of the civil rights struggle and everything in terms of like desegregation and things of that nature. So they've got the sign of the Royal Ice Cream Parlor, and of course he's doing some really notable things in the business community. So I was real pleased when he told me that he was interested in being on the show, and the pastor and his first wife also said that they might be interested in being on it. So who knows? We might just do a whole thing of business owners from right there in historical Durham and the historical NC Mutual building. Because Provident, I think it's called Provident 1898, that was originally the old North Carolina Mutual building. And they've done some serious renovations, took out a theater, took out a cafeteria. A lot of things that people definitely remembered it for are now gone, but they're still doing some really good work there, and I was really impressed in terms of conversating with him. So, like I said, I've just been ripping and rolling, as you can tell.
Yeah, man, you stay busy, bro. I mean, but we both do. Saturday was, I don't even know what I did Saturday. I kind of relaxed out because, still was in the do-nothing mode from the birthdays we had. And then yesterday went over to the playoff game. Philadelphia Soul beat the Washington Valor to head to Arena Bowl 32, which is next Sunday. They take on the Albany Empire. It's their third Arena Bowl appearance in the last 4 years. So, we're going to just keep rolling, man, roll with the soul. Congratulations to them. Also, man, our condolences to all of those in El Paso, Texas, and also Dayton, Ohio, who suffered from those mass shootings. And, I kind of listen to some of the stuff, but when it's broken down, man, it is nothing but hate. You can try to dress it up and say, you could try to say it's mental illness. You could try to say it's video games. You can say whatever you want. But deep down, you know that it's nothing but hate. And just thinking about all that stuff, I said, it's time for all of us, regardless of race, religion, creed, sexual orientation, or whatever. Everyone who opposes the hate that we've been seeing, we need to band together as a collective, because I'm quite sure there are many more of us than there are of them. And we can get rid of this thing, man, because just to talk about it, you let the news spin it, they're going to talk to someone who's going to make it seem like it may be this. Or it may be because we don't have gun control, and because we don't have this. So you got discord, and you have people, instead of working together, sometimes we as people have a hard time accepting other points of view. So we end up arguing amongst ourselves, and meanwhile another mass shooting happens, or something else, hate crime towards whoever starts to take place, because we get distracted with the thing that they threw in front of us. Pay attention to this. And when we focus on it, they go and do something else. And we got to learn to not pay attention to what's right there in front of you. Pay attention to it, but don't focus on it so much that you lose sight of the idiots have distracted you so they can go do something else. And then when you pay attention to that, they go and do something else. And they keep going. And we don't do anything as a collective to say, you know what, you've had your fun, now sit your ass down, because it's time to, you want to, make things decent for everybody, not just a chosen few,
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, and I think that you're totally right on the ball, right on the right track in terms of we got to just stop this madness in terms of hatred and everything. The one thing that I will add to what you just said is that, no matter what's going on and everything, I have stated on this show several times, I'm not a big fan of the person sitting in that office up there in D.C., and this is just another case of why I am not a big fan of that idiot that is sitting up there in the White House. You're going to sit there and worry about a celebrity, a boxing match or whatever it is, ultimate fighting or whatever, and this person that is supposedly one of your supporters, you're going to come out with statements about that. You're going to come out with all these other statements, and basically you're going to have radio silence for about 2 or 3 days, and then you're going to come up here with some platitudes and then don't really address the issues at hand, or that are talking like some very basic kind of fundamental things that are very common sense and everything, but not really trying to come up with a solution. So I got even less respect now when you go sit there waiting 3 days and you're going to come up with a quote like, these barbaric slaughters are an assault upon our communities, an attack upon our nation. You should have come up with that quote a long time ago, like days ago. And you have to understand, and I'm talking to you directly. I don't know if you got any friends that are listening, but if you do, I'm talking to you directly. If you got folks that are out there that are part of your network that are these racist folks, you got to come out and actually step up and say that you are against them. And don't come up with this little BS stuff about hatred in general and things of that nature. I want you to come out and basically say that you do not approve of what they are doing, and that this growth in hate crime groups and Southern Poverty Center, I think it is, said that the hate crime groups are at an all-time high. And part of that is because the rhetoric is coming from the top down. So that rhetoric that you're putting out there is the reason these hate crimes and these hate crime individuals feel that they have this kind of platitude and this kind of platform, I should say, this kind of platform. So I just still have, like I said, even less respect for you when you're sitting there. And like I said, I believe one of the attackers even acknowledged that it was some of his actions and some of the things that he said against our Latin brothers and sisters is the reason that they launched their attack. So you can't say that your words are not having any impact. Yes, I do believe in actions, and I also believe in words. And yes, your words can also impact people into doing actions and